we are live.
All right. Do you want to let some people come in or go straight for it?
Go straight for it, man.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Inspiration Station. Today, me and Ray, my boy Aros, 1901 on Twitter, we have our first guest ever, and it is Fresh Bueller. He is an amazing human being, a developer, investor, and someone I can gladly call a friend. I'm glad to have you on today, my man. Thank you for coming today. I
Thank you
appreciate
guys for having me. I
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
I do have to say I do appreciate you, man. Especially being the first guest. This is going to be interesting because now it's not just going to be me and him investigating each other's lives. Now it's going to be us investigating yours.
Well, I'm ready. I'm an open book. So
All right, so let's go. Let's just start with it. And, start. I guess get the day started basic and just ask, what do you do for a living, as far as like your primary income?
I guess I'd say primarily graphic design, but I as far as income goes, but I spend most of my time on the DAO and developing games. Working on a lot of graphics and stuff like that. But the money comes mostly from the graphics,
Okay, okay,
and well, not only, but majority of it is Web3 stuff.
okay.
to get into that.
Uh, well, I mean, I've been doing it my whole life. I started creating games when I was like 7 or 8 years old on my first computer. It was like Windows 3.1, now in color or something. Um, and so I've kind of always made little DOS games and little Java and Flash games. As far as graphic design and stuff like that, I haven't been doing it for that long. I've been drawing my whole life and I guess making art my whole life, but taking it serious to do it for people maybe since 2020, 2019 maybe. Um, and I guess people saw my stuff. I would show my art, and people wanted to have stuff made for them, and I guess it just kind of started like that, and then I started putting it out there more.
I have no artistic talent, so good job, man.
Everybody does somewhere, man. You just got to find it and find what medium to use.
I can agree with that. I mean, because as far as like getting on like an iPad or getting on my computer and making like graphic designing something, you have a complete leg up on me as far as that's concerned. Oh my God, hold on.
No, you're good.
No, yeah, no, my computer chopped because I had too many windows open, which means the stream probably chopped for a second. But I mean, I can draw on paper. I mean, I have this little work of art. I can kind of sketch. I probably shouldn't show that, but
So I would say the iPad is the best way to draw ever. And I'm a classic pen and paper or pencil and paper artist originally. That's what all I used. And I mean, I guess Sharpie and spray paint and shit too. But so yeah, I think I couldn't use a drawing tablet on the computer because you're not looking at your hand, you're looking at the screen, and your hand has to do whatever it's doing on the tablet. So I couldn't grasp it. But using the iPad, it's just like a piece of paper, except you can undo and things are smooth and all your brushes and pencils and colors and everything are all there for you.
oh
I
yeah.
never dug deep into the iPad, and I've always wondered if it's not quote unquote easier, but does it help a person with pen and paper get better? I think you
Yeah,
answered, but
yeah,
yeah.
100%. And again, like I don't know if it's my age or what it is, but I can't get past the not looking at my hand to draw. Like when I draw, I look at the tip of the pencil, not the screen. So when I was trying to use the drawing tablet, it felt more like using a mouse with a different hand grip than it did drawing.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I always think, for me, I'm not, like I said, no, not artistic talent with drawing. The shading, I can imagine, is quite the thing. I've never.
And again, that's the thing with the iPad is you can understand the concept of shading and get the idea down without being somebody that has the physical technique that you might need with a pencil or with chalk or like with paint. Like you can always undo it. You can set barriers for yourself so your shadow will never go outside of your object, and it's
Dang, that.
definitely
No, go ahead.
easier.
That's cool, man. Because that means you've considered like every aspect of technique as far as physical technique, digital technique, the differences, and then you
100%.
you've like basically critiqued it to slowly but surely master your craft. I like that. That's what's up, man. See, so I mean, time and energy basically gives you
Exactly.
perfection on almost all fronts.
And that's kind of what I'm trying to balance, right? Is how much time do I have to put in to get the best result? Like if the best result was coming from pen and paper, that's what I would use.
Mm.
Um, but again, the best result for the time, definitely iPad.
Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Um, so what about family? Like kids, wife? Do you have any of that going on in your life, my man?
I have a fiance. Um, we don't have kids. We have a French bulldog, which I mean that's my son. Um, and that's pretty much it. Like I have my moms in my life or whatever, but I'm not really close with most of my family.
Do you mind giving a reason why? Is it like,
Um, to be
past?
honest, reciprocity is huge with me. So if I'm giving more than I'm getting, and those limits keep getting pushed, and there's like no reciprocal energy, I'm just completely good. Blood doesn't make you immune to me backing away.
I
Um, and I feel like a lot of people were enablers or turned the other cheek when they probably should have said, "Hey, man, you're messing up. Go get help, or do you need help, or whatever." They all just kind of pretended like it wasn't going on. Um, so I don't know. I'm kind of good. I feel like I have the right people and right amount of people in my life, and they again, just because we're blood related doesn't really make us family.
I feel that, man. That's like oh man, that's like a tough thing to to disclose, well, not disclose with people, but just to discuss with people. Excuse me, because it's like how much time and energy do you deem? At what point do you deem it not worth it anymore? Like, when do you consider your time and energy wasted? And it's like, yeah, I get it. There's some people in your lives that you'd probably go to the ends of the earth for, and those people probably deserve it from you. And but in certain aspects, I mean, like in I guess in a relationship aspect point of view, is like if you keep putting your best foot forward and it's not being returned, whether it be the male or female, at what point do you cut it off and say that it's not worth your time and energy anymore? That's the toughest decision to make, is when do you deem it not worth your time and energy anymore?
For sure. And I feel like I'm jaded now, so that point comes very quick for me. Um, if I'm the one that's always, again, like putting my best foot forward, it'll only happen a couple times and I'll feel the energy and I'm good.
is trust the biggest factor for you?
It's loyalty and honor, man.
Nice.
Um, it's how you are when you're not with me, the way you act when you're not with me. And again, those honorable things, like, is it honorable to watch your family like melt away and waste away and just let it happen and say nothing? Probably not. Right. So
Like that. Like that.
Mac, would you happen to have the bulletin up? I couldn't bring mine up; they kept closing on me.
Yeah. Hey, Bueller, is there anything you want to know about me or Ray here? Anything you want to ask us as hosts? The people interviewing you.
so
What you got for me? What you got for
I've
Ray?
been thinking about this one, and so for Ray, I want to know, how did you and your wife, your significant other, meet, and what would you say is the defining moment of your relationship?
Um, okay, so how we met? So we ran into each other a couple of times throughout life. I guess there's no point in really just discussing that part because we literally, it was just kind of like we ran into each other at the grocery store high and by. And how I officially ended up meeting her was I seen her at work. And when I walked through the door, okay, call me crazy, call me a sucker, or this is cliche, but like when I first seen her, dude, she like, it was like there was like an LED light behind her, bro. It was just glowing, straight glowing. Immediately caught my attention, and she was behind the register at work. She was working at a retail place, and I basically wouldn't take no for an answer, and made sure I walked out of that place with her phone number.
I love that.
I
So,
respect that.
and then defining moment, I would have to say, over the course of being friends and getting to know her, I basically told her I was going to take all of those, how can I say, evil moments or dark moments in her life, and I was going to turn them around and make them positive moments in her life. So like now, our anniversary of when we got together is the same exact day her brother passed away all those years ago. So now she doesn't have something only negative to think about. So I basically planned our relationship to where every dark moment in her past was outshined by a positive one.
So you're the balance.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question on that, Ray.
What's up?
What made you that way? Was it something in you where you're like, okay, I wanna like, I've had relationships before, and it's kind of that protection thing where it's like, I don't want to see you ever sad and all that. And
But it's big. It definitely seems to be bigger than that
that's what
for
I'm
you,
asking.
because you are like that in general, not just with her. You're very much like, where's the positive? Let's look at this in a bright light. So I second that. What made you that way?
This kind of touched bases on some of the things that I talked about in the first episode, as far as my coming from a really poverty-stricken background. My parents were addicted to drugs. I'm not going to get too much into that. I talked about it in the first episode in depth, but somewhere along that line, I got obsessed with like stories of light triumphing, triumphant. Oh my God, conquering darkness. I can't even fucking say that word. Excuse my language, but basically like beating darkness, or them finding a way to coexist to where it brings harmony, which is why I have the yin and yang symbol tattooed on my stomach, because there's several meanings of it, but the meaning that I like is that two in harmony can surpass one in perfection, and that to me just hit home at a very young age. So I guess that's where that's where I am kind of cliche, and I am still a little kid at heart, because I still have that chip on my shoulder where I want to save the world, where I want to, I'll jump in front of that bullet for a stranger, because somebody has to be the hero. And it's not even that I want to be the hero. I just want to show people that there are people out there that will sacrifice like themselves. They don't even have to know you, but there are still some good people out there that are willing to do whatever it takes to let the light shine through.
There's something you mentioned that I keep in my head. It was last podcast and off the air, where you said, as long as there's one person left in the entire world that does good, the good still exists. And that's been in my head every single day. So, awesome.
Okay.
And Mac, who's your superhero?
Who's my superhero? Eminem. Eminem.
Yeah.
That's the person I look up to the most. I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why, but he was
because
completely
he has a very similar struggle, right?
It's not, well, yeah, that, but open from the beginning, talking about the issues, not being afraid to be open, do all of that. It's something that I grew up with and wasn't always like kind of person.
I love you guys.
Actually, Eminem. For real, and it's kind of like, being able to walk away with both your middle fingers up and say, I did it, that kind of stuff was always something that I was like, that is, without being disrespectful, pretty awesome, right? It's, you go on your own stride, you try and make it past the yellow brick road, you just,
For sure.
That's my hero for sure, actually.
Nice.
Nice.
Total side note is I think you do a pretty well job as far as maintaining the middle finger and the peaceful nature of being transparent. I know it can be hard, dude. I mean, There's many situations in my life where I sometimes I just want to take that other finger and put it up too, man. And it's just because people push the boundaries, dude. I remember the first time I ever like got stern with one of my bosses at work. It did not bode well. I ended up saying all kinds of stuff to that lady I probably shouldn't have, but it just
Once the floodgates are open, man.
yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
definitely feel that. All
Hard
right.
to control too, at least for
Pardon?
me. I said it's hard to control too, at least for me. I would love if I
Yeah,
could just walk up with the middle finger up every time, but you can't.
yeah. I mean, I feel like I was born with them up, so I don't really know any other way. It's very much F it if you don't like me.
Yeah.
This is me. This is the way it is. And again, I think that's because I try to do the right thing, though.
Mm.
Um, because I don't think I would be as comfortable in myself if I didn't feel what I was doing is righteous.
Anytime I do something wrong, actually, legitimately, it's all right here.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
exactly. I'm like, listen, I'm not against saying I was wrong, but I'd rather not have to. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather just do the right thing first, especially in scenarios that like you probably shouldn't be wrong.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
dude. I had to learn that lesson the hard way because, especially now, especially once I got kids, dude, and I wasn't just providing for myself and stuff. I know I get it from a lot of people. It's hard, like especially people who don't have kids or don't have an emotional attachment to something to cause them to basically bite their tongue or bite their pride. It's a lot harder because then it becomes your own self control. But if you can accomplish that, dude, if you can accomplish that on your own, then there's no telling what you could achieve because basically, and that's where I like the saying. Sometimes it's just easier to let people believe what they want.
It's easy
Hundred
to do
percent.
the wrong thing, by the way. It's
Pardon?
not- it's easy to do the wrong thing.
It's
100%.
but you know what? My opinion, it's easier to do the right thing. I think
Okay.
that the wrong thing takes more time and energy.
Hmm.
When it's right, you know it's right, and when it's wrong, you know it's wrong. So when it's right and you know it's right, you don't have to convince yourself. But when
Yeah.
it's wrong and you know that, and you're convincing yourself to do it anyways, you're spending all that extra energy on it. And to me, I think that makes it more difficult.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
because I kind of have to second that with Bueller only because it's like say I choose to like white lie about something, and then I have to every time I run into this person and they choose to bring this subject
You
up,
have to remember
I
that.
have to remember the lie, and that's where if I just told you the truth, I don't have to worry about it no more. And then every time I see you, I just repeat the truth because it's what actually happened. Just ultimately makes it easier to deal with.
100%.
The reason I say that because I think of it in the way of standing up, or like let's say there's 10 people doing the wrong thing and you're the one that's trying to do the right thing. It's can get a little nerve-wracking to actually stand up and do it. I feel, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like I mean, I think you're both right. More energy wasted because, like you said, you have the right go. A lot of
The,
people
the 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 thing is though is
standing
like
up.
if you don't stand up or you don't do the right thing in the face of those other 9 out of the 10, you're just as bad,
Yeah.
right? And I refuse to be the other Nazi at the table. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if there, I don't know. I always liken it to that where like if there's 10 people at a table, one of them's Nazis and everybody's eating. That's 10 Nazis. Like if nobody's saying anything, you're all just as bad.
Following.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
dang man,
Ray,
dang. All
Ray, did
right,
you get the article? Are you good?
what's that? Did I what?
Did you get the what I sent? Did you get the script? What usually?
Oh, you sent it?
Yeah, I sent it.
Okay, cool beans.
Yeah.
Okay, so here comes the fun part. That was a nice opening. We touched bases on a lot of what you do and described you a little bit. So here's gonna come the fun part. Here's where we start to pick your brain a little bit, my man. So describe your outlook or belief as far as the way you view the world and if what you have, I guess what you have faith in, like similar to something like religion. But I mean, whatever it is whatever it is.
So I guess this is twofold because, like, religiously, I would consider myself Asatru, which is, or Odinist, which would be like belief in the Norse gods. So I mean, simplest, or simply put, a Norse pagan. However, the second part of that is I believe in simulation theory. So I believe that, I'm not sure why, but I believe we're kind of in the matrix. There's too many things that I've seen and witnessed with my own eyes that just don't add up. That only makes sense in something like a computer program. So yeah, I mean, exactly. It was almost that opened my eyes just a little more, is seeing what's possible. And again, like, if we're almost at that point now in our current world, what's to say we're not already in a simulation? So
Ray, I don't know about you, Ray. Should I ask him what made you think that? What led you down to that? Because, like, it's not, oh, we're living in the Matrix. It's like too many random chances of things happen. How does that make sense?
well, first of all, I don't believe in coincidence, right? I don't think that that exists. Like, coincidence is like we ran into the same person on the bus 3 days in a row. That's a coincidence. But actual actions happening in your life, it's most likely a reaction from something else that happened in the world. Nothing's by accident. But what made me come to the simulation, like, I guess come to terms with simulation theory, would have to be reading and different books, different literature, and from like fiction to nonfiction, all just kind of coming into this like cohesive picture where it doesn't really make sense otherwise to me now. It just, there seems to be a lot of calling to certain things, like, say, what I call the neural net, or the energy around you. Like, that kind of thing is very commonplace in a lot of like philosophers talk about it. A lot of like religious people talk about it. It's very common everywhere. It just has different names. That wouldn't just, like, that just doesn't exist by accident. And again, like, even in science, they found the particle, the God particle.
Yeah.
That to me is like a what I would call like my coding signature, is the God particle.
That's where I was just going to ask then. So does that mean, like, you think like the Mandela effect and things of that nature are possible?
Not just possible. There are things that I'm like 100%. Some of the things are just ridiculous, outlandish, people being people, right? But there are things that I can say with 100% truth, like 100% confidence is true. So, like, the reason it's called the Mandela effect,
Yeah.
I remember learning about him being dead in school.
Mm-hmm.
He died during apartheid, and then he was all of a sudden alive again. Another example of that would be Bob Barker from The Price is Right.
Yeah.
He supposedly died. I remember him dying, and Drew Carey, or is it Drew Carey? Yeah, whatever. That guy taking his place, and then now he's alive. He's about to turn 100.
The Bernstein Bears.
Yeah,
The book spelled
that too. That too.
I remember, and the Mandela. Second one. But yeah, right.
See, that's where I guess for this one I'm the odd man out, man, because I don't. I very much have considered the theory, and I've deep dived into it pretty well. I mean, maybe not as well as I should have, but But once once you research something enough and you just feel like okay, that I don't know if I can find myself believing this. So I deep dived enough to do my homework, and I do know a lot of the residual effects and like things that coincide with the we're living in the Matrix, like the whole thing that some guy said we're an experiment in some alien's closet or something like that. And
Well,
it's
that's
very
it's funny because I actually before that guy said that, I made the joke about we're just a fucking science project on an alien's desk that got a D. You know, like in The Simpsons when Lisa had uh, that world living in her petri dish.
uh-huh.
Like that's what we, you know what I mean? Like what we could
I
be.
saw this
But
YouTuber recently, so who had it's like all dirt, and it's like kind of like having a snake or a water tank, and it's an entire living ecosystem in it. It's not pretty. It's bugs and all of that, and it starts with just mulch, rocks, all of that,
but
and then
but
like
my thing is like I don't think
right.
we are like I don't think it's like the Matrix in the sense that we're sitting in a pod and our energy is being harnessed or whatever.
Yeah, like the
I
actual movie or
actually
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think it's more so um, we use the world or whatever as like school. You go in, maybe takes a week in your real life, and you get to live 70, 90 years in the simulation. Something like that.
I get you. See, because that's where I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that theory on like a surface level. Like we're living in the matrix as far as like, social media, the things that are portrayed through us throughout our life. Like the reason, like I know from the psychological aspect, the reason why the Barbie doll looks the way she is to slowly to condition women into thinking that's what their body should look like things of that nature living in the matrix. But anything like
Yeah,
deeper than that.
like you're saying, like the way Andrew Tate says the Matrix.
Yes, yeah. So like I can believe it on
And
like that kind of level, but like I don't know anything further than that. I'm just like I don't know, man. I mean, there's some pretty extraordinary individuals out there, and I would think that at least one of them would be able to break free and like send some kind of message. But then again, who am I to say? Because then we,
but listen, the whole point is break free from what? You're in school, bro.
yeah,
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and if you broke free, you're not here anymore to tell us. You're dead. How do you know how many of these people died that just broke free?
yeah,
Do
that's
you
true.
think there's destiny? Do you think
Like,
you're
you think?
destined to follow a path?
Listen, that's another thing that I'm
Okay,
weird
no,
about, right?
no,
Because
hold on. Before we go any further, then, so let's hit the basis on at least before we hit that basis. Can you hold that thought, or will you forget? Because if you forget, I'm just gonna let you go.
Write it.
I'll remember it.
Okay,
All
okay.
right.
I got it.
So let's go over a couple of pivotal moments that made you believe in the Norse mythology and the simulation theory. Let's go over a few key pivotal moments in your life that
So
slowly turned you that way.
okay, so I feel like I've always had like a disdain for religion, and so I feel like I've always been looking for something that spoke to me. And I guess when I was going through my addiction and recovery, I felt uh, like I was watching a lot of things, playing games, reading into it. Like it's also again like my people, if you go back, would come from there. You know what I mean? So uh, it kind of spoke to me. But then I was like, well, like I don't know if I believe this, you know. And then I straight out asked for a sign, and I seen two ravens multiple times in that day, like maybe six times in that day. Um, and I mean, again, if you know about Norse mythology, like that's Hugin and Munin; those are Odin's ravens. The only thing was missing is one of them wasn't white, but I seen them, and then now I see them everywhere, all the time. Um, I got a set of runes, and I threw the runes, and basically the runes told me exactly who I am. Like there wasn't even like a piece of it that was wrong. Uh, it was really it's all been a weird journey. Um, I think the most of it is that it just speaks to my soul. I feel like I connect to it, and I
Okay.
think that's all that that really matters about it.
Well, yeah. In the end, as long as it speaks to your being, and it's what helps you move forward, and it helps you enlighten your mind. Enlighten. Then that's all that matters, dude. I even say like even if people who believe in like regular religion, like Christianity, Catholicism, whatever it is, like I mean, if it's what gets you out of bed in the morning and it helps you, who am I to knock it, dude? It's not.
Well, and it's a lot of the reason why is because it's not used as a crutch, right? It's not like oh, this bad thing happened and it just happened because the God said so, or because God said so. Like that's not what it is. Like you can ask them for help, you can whatever, but like like it's I don't know. It's more of, again, a connection to nature, a connection to, like, each god has its thing that it's connected to, and I feel like that itself makes more sense to me than just this one being just by itself creating all this. Because even in the Bible, God talks about what was before he created this world. So this being still has people, or whatever you want to call them, that they live amongst, right? So I just feel like in like the Norse pagan religion, you just know about more of the people.
Yeah, so it describes more of the gods in depth, and they actually have a significant role to play, and the role makes sense. It's not just like he sits on a cloud somewhere and he bestows.
Yeah, and the morals make sense to me. Like it's I don't know. It just seems more realistic to me than Sky Daddy. I don't know.
Which pagan god, which do you believe in? Which connects you the most? Fire, water, land, those, you know what I'm saying?
So I think at this current moment, I walk with Loki. Like, I think Loki's with me a lot. But I think that I feel Odin a lot. Like, I feel a lot of that. And I also feel like I don't know. It changes a lot for me, right? And I think that that's the point of it too, is that like at certain moments you can look to certain gods for certain things, right? And I feel like where I'm at in my life right now, Loki's fucking with me a lot. I feel like he's playing a lot of tricks on me, making me stay on my toes.
Hey, I mean, what is it? I mean, even there was one saying that I heard from a pastor one time that I actually liked, but it says that God puts the toughest soldiers through the tests because because no one else can handle it. So I mean, everything happens for a reason, man. As long as you prepare yourself and you don't short end yourself. And a lot of people forget that half of the success of the plan is preparation, and then the other half is execution. So people are so concerned with executing that they forget to prep, and then some people get so concerned with prepping that they forget to execute. So he's just chilling. He's just chilling. Oh man.
He's huffing and puffing
His
at
name
me.
is Dexter.
Yeah.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Sorry,
before we get off this, another thing that really made me like Norse mythology and connect to it is the fact that everything has a price. So Odin is called the Allfather, but he only has the knowledge he does because he paid for it with one of his eyes, with half of his sight, right? So he doesn't just know everything just because he said so because he's God. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. What did I for an eye? I for an
eye. Exactly. But although an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, so I'm not sure you know what I mean? But everything has a cost, though.
Yeah. Equivalent exchange.
Like
yeah.
Exactly.
So okay, so part of my question wasn't answered. So we got to the belief, and we got to the reason why you believe in it. So we'll go with what happened in your life to first make you research Norse mythology?
I almost don't want to say it because other pagans are going to hate me. But the Viking show, to be honest. Like, I've always been into Vikings and stuff like that, but to go deep dive into it was the show.
Okay.
So you saw the imagery, which was like, oh, that kind of looks like something I'd be
Well,
interested in.
it spoke to me. It didn't even feel. It's not even like something like I would be interested in. It was like, oh shit! Like I feel like I did that in another life.
Mm.
Oh, that's a big bomb to be dropping, my man. As far as other lives
Yeah,
and stuff, I like that.
yeah. Well,
Um,
energy is infinite, right?
it,
So it never goes away. Do with that
it can never be
what you
destroyed. It can
will.
only be harnessed or dispersed. Yeah.
Exactly. So do with that what you will, right?
So
You can watch the energy leave a body when it's dying, and it actually leaves in the shape of the body. They've caught it on thermal camera. You guys should check it out.
wow, I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything
Yeah,
about that.
it's they call it the soul leaving the body.
All right, Mac, what's your question as far as in his beliefs or pivotal moments?
I had one, and I was like, he answered it. Like, honestly, because my question was, what made you kind of, look into that? What would you say? I have a question. What would you say to someone disputing in their head what to believe? What to,
I wouldn't.
you
I
wouldn't?
wouldn't. Nope,
Why
that's
not?
not my place. That is a you thing. If you were like if you were like, oh, I feel like the pagan gods are speaking to me, I may discuss it with you, but I'm not going to tell you your religion's wrong or which religion to go to. I'm like up until this was like pretty much anti-religion, and I don't have like a meeting place where we go on Sundays and you know what I mean. Like I deal with God and gods and whatever on my own terms. Um, has I don't know. It has nothing to do with community for me. So it just depends what you're looking for, right? Like I'm sure if you find the right church or whatever for you, you'll find something good in it
Mm,
from any of the religions.
I like that answer.
So you guys just heard it here. So he basically said that he watched a show, and the show like really reverberated with his vibe, his essence, and he just chose to deep dive. I mean, it could be that simple, guys. It could really be that simple. You can go watch Spartacus, and suddenly you're interested in Rome, and you do a deep dive into Rome, and all of a sudden your mind is blown. These people, even me as an individual, Mac right here, Bueller here, we don't just oh, we know it all. Oh, this, that, and the other thing. We experienced loss. We experienced drive and failure within ourselves, disappointment within ourselves, and we just keep pushing forward. And we deep dive into subjects, and we keep striving for what it is that we want. And you guys can do it too, man. You guys can do it too.
100%.
I agree. Yeah.
So, and then next on the chopping block list, so we discussed your beliefs and a couple pivotal moments. So let's see. Okay, I actually like that one. That was a nice one to go on. Is how do you feel about failure?
The first attempt in learning, man. Failure's the key, bro. Failure's the key. Um, I think without it, what would you be, right? Like you have to start and bump your knee and scratch up your arm and hit your head, and then you become good at stuff. I, I don't know. I'm huge on failure. I think like that's the point. Jump in, try things, fail a whole bunch of times until you find what's right.
Are you the all-in kind of guy or divide?
I'm. What do you mean?
Like with what we're asking you, yeah, with failure. Like, are you willing to go all in something that you love and pursue, no
Oh
matter
yeah,
if
I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in with both feet at all times. In
no,
fact,
no
I'm
parachute?
diving in and I'm diving headfirst right out of the plane, right into the ground. It's okay.
Hey guys, I think we just had a Warzone COD moment. What are you talking about? I didn't break my legs. I got sniped out the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Oh dude. Bro, the game wouldn't open my chute. Oh, that's great. I love that, dude. I love that. I mean, I will say that you have a lot of cojones to just be jumping all in. Because me, I tiptoe my way in. I don't know why, but I guess that's where I'm similar to Mac when when it comes to things of that nature. I'm always expecting the worst out of people, but I've learned to take that expectation and and basically reverse it in my own mind to like, okay, what would I do to make this person, or excuse me, what can I do to make this person take their barriers down so I can do the same for them? I don't know. It's just my approach to it is very, I guess, unorthodox, I could say.
I mean, I'm pretty cynical, so I always expect the worst. I always think like, the worst is going to happen, and I think that's just kind of why it's okay, because the worst is going to happen anyways. I might as well try. You know what I mean? Like, there's nowhere to go but up from here.
You're not lying.
And to be honest, like, yeah, especially with people, I find a lot of people just suck. People put this front on like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and it just never happens. I've probably been about to start 17 podcasts. I mean, might be about to start another one, but it tends to be the case, right? Is people like to say, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I want to do this, I'll help you do that, and it never works out. But I mean, again, I might as well try, because even if I start doing it and the other person flakes, and then it still catches traction or whatever the case may be, right? Like, might as well just give it a go.
I mean, that's why I'm here, man. That's why I mean, and like I said in the first episode, guys, I've failed miserably at making dozens and dozens of channels. So I mean, I didn't just pick it up one day and was like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, it takes quite a bit of effort, especially a lot of networking. It took me almost 2-3 years of trial and error just to find Mac here and find decent people worth interviewing that aren't afraid to speak their story. Or afraid of judgment from other people speaking their story, and that's another
100%.
thing. People, I understand, like, you have to maintain a certain image in certain environments. Like in your job, you have to be professional, or you might lose your job. Then you can't, feed your kids or pay your bills, whatever responsibilities that you may have. But that's where it comes back down to letting people think what they want to think. If there's a moment where you have to bite your pride, shut your mouth, then it's just that moment. But at the end of the day, you don't have to let their opinion of you change who you are.
So I agree and I disagree. I'm not a bite my tongue person. However, me and my fiance have this conversation all the time. Like, she works in an office setting. She has no choice but to be this way. Like, I have the privilege that I work in Web3. If you don't like me, kick rocks. Don't really care. So I'm not a bite my tongue kind of person in any scenario. I don't really care. I just wear it all on my sleeve. And if you don't like it, too bad. However, I do understand it. But I'm not sure I would give that as advice. I'm not sure I would say, hey, you should do it. I would more so say, find a way to live where you don't have to do that, because I hate stifling myself. It drives me nuts.
I was actually just going to say that, but it seems like you're also in a position where your skill set and your work environment allows you to basically be able to do that. Which it all comes down to circumstance, guys. It all comes down to circumstance.
100%.
So, I mean, unfortunately, we don't control that. It's just the world around us.
Be thankful for the blessings we have. I'm lucky to be able to work my passion, and I think that's what wakes me up in the morning. Is that if I didn't have what I have today, I'd be more depressed than I am on a normal day, right? But luckily, I can work what I love. I have the opportunity, and I'm jumping without a parachute.
Okay, so next, if you don't mind sharing, I mean, but if there's things that you don't want to touch bases on, by all means, you don't have to. We're not asking for the whole story, but I would like, if you don't mind sharing, a couple of examples of moments in your life where you were undoubtedly at your lowest.
I mean, I guess there's a couple. Not really remembering getting arrested, and like having my fiance at the time, girlfriend, come bail me out when I got arrested in her car. Her car was impounded. She came and picked me up with her father's truck, and bailed me out. And I feel like that pretty low. And then I'd say when I was coming down off of like Xanax and oxys and perks, and I started seizing and having like disassociation, not really believing life was real, or like I didn't need to breathe. Or, like I felt like, oh, I could just stop breathing, I'd still live. This is not real. It was like a pretty low point, I'd say.
Wow, man. I have never. This is kind of me prying more for curiosity, and I do apologize if that's disrespectful, but I've never met somebody who experienced the dissociative disorder from, like, relapsing and stuff like that. Can I? Would you mind and enticing me with what that like entails, what that's like?
So basically, it would feel like I was going into a dream. Like I would say, sit in the bath, and it would feel like I'd go into a dream, but I wasn't dreaming. And then but like I thought I was dreaming. I thought I was going to sleep. But then I would start thinking things like that, like, oh, I don't need to breathe, or this is not real, or whatever. And I would see things. Sometimes it was like I was watching TV, where it was like I was looking at life from like the outside in. And again, those things weren't happening. I was laying in the bathtub. And I just like, I couldn't tell the difference between like a dream and reality. And then I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, like it wasn't a dream. And then I could breathe and I'd be fine. And
So it was like you woke up from while you were already awake because you were.
Yeah.
You could. Oh my dude, that
Yeah.
sounds trippy to me. That
yeah,
does not sound like a fun place to be.
no. And like people would tell me that like I said or did things, and I'd be like, it doesn't even sound like me. What are you talking about? But I guess it was happening in this like disassociative, like lucid dream state or whatever.
Wow.
I've been through similar things with benzos, right? Where you do things you would never be that person. You'd be shocked that that was you. How
But
do
that's on benzos.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Alpha can do the same thing. The withdrawals are very serious. I'm just talking about the point where you're saying you don't remember stuff and that
Oh
kind of.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How do you forgive yourself for that? Because I can't sometimes. I've done a lot of shit
Um,
or at all. None of it. And I'm judged.
I listen, man. I hold myself accountable for what I did. I did whatever I did that was messed up. Fine, but like I forgive myself by moving forward, by becoming a better person. You know, one foot in front of the other, or one step at a time, one day at a time. Like it's not something that I really ever said to myself, like, "Oh, I hate you because you did this." Like, you know what I mean? To me, like, once I came out of that like addiction state, I really found like my self love and my self worth, where I feel like that, like I love myself. Borderline narcissism, like, I don't know. So I hold myself accountable, but I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah.
So what is there to be like? What am I going to be mad at myself about? What am I going to hate myself about?
Because
Something that I wouldn't do.
So you basically just know that in your mind that, like, you just know you would never do it again. So and you move on from it. Just you learned your lesson and move on.
I would have never done it without substances.
Yeah.
100%. Anyways, like that wasn't me. And now that I found myself, like I will never let this person go. This is it. I will forever be unapologetically me, because I mean, losing myself has been the hardest thing for me to recover from.
Do you think that's a part of you though? Because you took those substances, you blacked out, you did those terrible things. Like, how do you protect it from just coming out? You don't think it's you in some way? I know substances all through the brain. I'm just asking to learn from you. That's
No, I don't.
okay. Cool.
I think that it was like environment, the crowd, a lot of different factors. I never did any of that kind of stuff at home by myself, or you know what I'm trying to say? Like, just in a normal environment, that stuff never happened. It was always who I was around, what we were doing, what substances we were on.
Thank you for answering, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Give me a second, guys. I don't know why, but stream is chopping. Thank
Yeah,
God. Thank God it didn't chop to the end of your guys' conversation, so they caught all of that. So
awesome. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Inspiration Station. I got my co-host here, Ray, fixing some issues. I got Bueller. Thanks for coming, my man.
hey,
I
Dick,
appreciate
you're
you.
Thanks
my
for having me.
co-host.
Thanks for
You're
having me.
my co-host.
I intentionally said that. Me, co-host, the word co-host means two
Yeah,
co's.
yeah, yes. That you guys are both hosting. It doesn't matter who's. Yeah, I'm just giving you shit, bro. I'm just giving you shit.
Ray came up with this idea, though, okay?
Except in Twitter Spaces. In Twitter Spaces, there
That's
is a host and
Yes.
there is two co-hosts.
Yeah.
And that when you make a co-host, the host is still Big Don Dada.
This says host. It's crazy, yeah.
Oh
Yeah, it's
man.
true. Yeah, it's funny, yeah.
So I was actually gonna, I didn't want to point it out, but I'm actually liking this, guys, mostly because I've kind of noticed from the beginning of the interview that you and Mac and Bueller here are like, you guys are like, it's like you guys are having like, a little like lovers tango over here, man. You guys are like feeling each other on a real level, and I appreciate that, guys. Like, all jokes aside, I can tell that like it seems like you guys have similar stories and you guys are vibing with each other's stories. And Mac, I appreciate the questions you've been asking because I can tell that you're truly trying to draw some form of advice from it, and and you're appreciating every moment of it. And Bueller, you're just laying it all out, dude, without any hesitation. So I think you guys are doing an awesome vibe of making the what is it, the connection, the vibe. It's real. I can see it between you guys. It's nice. I mean, I've struggled with addiction and stuff, but that's where it's. I think your guys' stories are similar, and that's why the vibe's coming off like this. So I definitely think you guys are hitting it off pretty dang well. If there's something else you want to ask him, dude, by all means ask him before I move to the next question. I actually have to use the restroom real quick. I'll let you handle it until I get right back.
Break time, everyone party!
When the host's away, the guests will play.
Yeah, right. You know what? Let me, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching today's stream, thank you for coming today. I appreciate you guys. Ray's gone, so the host is back. Let's get it, everybody. Nah, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Everybody write in the comments. I don't know who's live. I'm not even on YouTube, but I'm going to retweet this and put it on the Twitter and say we're live. Bueller, man, thanks for answering my questions, dude. He was right. I'm trying to learn. I've been through similar stuff, and it's things that I kind of bite my tongue on and don't always say. So I appreciate that, though.
I mean, listen, you know how I feel, especially because you do what you do. If I were you, like, I wouldn't hold back. You don't have, again, you don't even like the term asshole, so you don't have to be an asshole. But
Yeah.
it's not an asshole, like saying no, not an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
and it's a full sentence too. You don't have to explain why. No is a full sentence.
Oh, and period.
Yeah, exactly. Full stop.
100%, man. Nah, man, it's cool. I like that you said as well. Oh man, it's taking me forever to start a podcast. Me too. I'm starting to start my YouTube. Right?
All that Red Bull going straight through me, guys.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead. You can go ahead and hit up the next question. Last subject where we just hit was examples for lowest points in his life, which he gave us as far as his substance abuse and the what is it? The repercussions of dealing with those. So, so the next part would be, Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah. How'd you come out of those situations, man?
To be honest, my fiance, my dog, and then my mom, and her boyfriend or my stepdad, or honestly, if it wasn't for my fiance, I probably would have never got help. I might not have made it out of jail. Never mind, got help. But not just from the beginning, but every single step of the way, she's had my back without question. And again, having my dog is just like, it got me out to walk him and get out in the world and see the world and not turn into a hermit while I guess recovered and figured everything out. And I guess, like, my mom really always has my back. If I ever need anything, I can always call her or whatever. So I think that's pretty much the main thing that got me out.
Was there a pivot point, like a wake up call, like a big? I mean, like
Well,
I'm sure.
again, like I got arrested, but it was shortly after that. Like after getting arrested, and then having that, like I was seizing and disassociating and stuff like that, and it was just enough. Um, and again, I was just done. I was just done. I was tired of like waking up and being sick and uh, always having to worry about where I was getting my next dope and getting taken advantage of by the people that, like, again, we're supposed to be friends and family, like people who grew up with me and people who I looked up to, like aunts and uncles, like charging me $3 extra per pill on every pill I bought to make money off me instead of saying like, I'm not selling to you. You
Yeah,
know,
good. Yeah.
it just all kind of weighed on me and made me feel like I had enough.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was nice. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty of picking your mind, man. I like that. You're not holding back now. So, if there was, let's see, how could I word this question? Actually, I don't even care about that question. What I would like to ask would be, um, if you could go back and change it, would you?
No,
Ooh, good question. That's a good
no,
one. Yeah.
because again, like I would still, if I changed one thing, does that mean I don't end up here? Because if
Yeah.
it does, then fuck it. I'll go through it. I would go through it 10 times over.
I have the same answer. Actually, I would do it all over again, not for fun, but to be where I am now. Yeah, for sure.
Like again, I was saying it to you, Mac. Like uh, I never thought like I wanted to get married. I never wanted to have kids or whatever. Like I have a fiance. We want to have kids. Like you know what I mean. And I wouldn't not go through it if that means not being with her and not having the life I have now. I think it ends up again. It's all a balance, right? So you gotta trade somehow. So I traded some shitty years, and now I got the rest of my life to be happy. You know.
The second half.
hmm
Mhm.
Act two is gonna be crazy.
Oh man,
It ain't over. We made it.
bro, it's crazy, man. Because coming out of the other side, I would have never thought, like, especially growing up as a kid, that like that. Okay, let's forget about where I'm at now, because when you're younger, you're a teenager, whatever. You shoot so high, you don't think about the detail work that goes in. But just in the mental state, just the wisdom that I have, the intellect that I have, the capability of being able to handle situations the way that I can now. It's just I don't know. I'm really thankful. It's like like he said. I wouldn't change it either, because it for me. I understand that it's not the destination. It's the journey. And
hmm
this is my first destination. Now it's time for my second one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Who's your hero, Bueller? You asked me.
Uh, my grandfather.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk about him today because just you asking me made me want to cry.
So I get it. No, I understand. I understand.
I'm
That's a
not saying I won't. I just don't know how far I'm gonna be able to get into it. Is all I'm saying.
guy.
That would be entirely your choice, man. This isn't like when I first asked you, man. This isn't like the kind of interview shows where I kind of like pick your brain or it gets all wild and stuff like that. I want it to be concise, and whatever you're comfortable with sharing, you're comfortable with sharing. The point is to show people that you're like they're not the only ones to struggle, man, and other people have come out
100%.
the other side. And this is a fine example of a gentleman who's come out the other side, and that's why we're here sharing a story today, to show you that you can come out the other side as well. I mean, it just takes a little effort, and sometimes it's.
Well, a lot of effort, but yeah.
I'm trying to
but
sugarcoat it,
that's the
man.
point. No sugarcoating, man. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it, right? That's the point. Is like, and to be honest with you, it is a lot easier than the alternative. As much work as it is, it's a lot easier than. I mean, for example, being a drug addict every day, stressed out, moving around. I heard a joke one time about drug addicts are doing side quests. Like that when you get to a point where you get side quests and you just start getting them in your head. It's like, okay, I need money. I got to go sell copper. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my god, I love that analogy, dude.
Right.
Oh
And
my
it's like,
god.
and so I'm tired of the forever side quests. You know, I feel like I've explored the whole map. I've done all the side quests. Now it's time to get onto
The main
the
objective.
main storyline.
And see what the boss is gonna do. Like, dude, I'm level 70. Okay, I can coast to the rest of it.
Exactly, and that's really how I feel now. Is like I spent so much time on the side quests. I'm just OP.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, bro. It's like you're still at the beginning of the game and you're one shotting everything. Like, dude, this is kind
yeah,
of it's kind of
exactly,
boring a little, low key. Oh
exactly,
man.
exactly.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I like that. No, I like that. That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead,
But
man.
yeah,
Take it.
back to my hero.
Oh, go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that's my grandfather. I feel like he was the example for me of what a man should be, and always did what should be done, even if he didn't want to, even if whatever. He always did what should be done, um, and just lived as himself through and through, 100% of the time. Um, so yeah, I mean that's my hero.
How long was he? Like my so to ask this question, I have to tell a tiny thing. So my mom and dad got divorced when I was 2 months old, and for like a normal person growing up, that would be a negative, right? Well, my grandpa was with my grandma for like 40, so it negated those bad feelings. How long did you have a similar kind of thing where you looked?
So my mom and dad split up when I was one. My mom was 17. My dad was 19. They split up, and yeah, it was just kind of I'd see him when I saw him, type of thing. But my grandfather, even though like my grandmother and grandfather split up because my grandmother drank, and so like she was like verbally abusive and shit to him. So he just like they didn't exactly split up because like again it's
It was different
I don't
then.
know.
It was different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they didn't live together. But
Oh,
like when she stopped drinking, like they would go on dates, they'd go dancing, they go, you know what I mean? Like they never had anybody else either, right? It's a different time, a different type of relationship. A psychic said to my mom that they've known each other for multiple lifetimes. Uh, my grandmother never gets it right, but my grandfather will try a million times.
wow, dude. That's awesome. I have a small comparison
Uh,
because my grandpa was the drinker, and
Mhm.
grandma told him, if you don't stop drinking, it's going to be a problem. That day, he quit beer forever. Forever.
Well, when I was a baby, my grandmother used to smoke in the house,
Whoa.
and I got like childhood asthma or croup cough or whatever the hell it's called. And my mom came home and said to my grandmother, like, you can't smoke in the house anymore because of me. And she quit that day cold turkey.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
guys. I would like to take a second. I don't mean to interrupt your conversation, but I would like to apologize to you guys and the audience. I just been having super major technical difficulties on my end. Every time this man sends me the script, it just closes on me for no apparent reason. So I brought it up manually. No more issues. We should be good to go. I have no more interruptions, and I'm here. I'm here.
Maybe.
Oh man. But sorry. Go ahead. So your grandmother quit cold turkey.
yeah, she just quit cold turkey just like that.
Yeah. It's interesting when I see people do that because that willpower is crazy.
I think it was a different time though. They're different. They're a different breed of people, you know. Like
Before we talked, remember I was saying we have, I told the people, like, you guys have it easy. It's very different. It's not a diss. It's like they really had it very differently, and we get to sit at home on our computers and chill while they were out doing that stuff. So it's complete.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, they strong men breed easy times breed weak men breed hard times.
Oh,
So
Yeah, I
we're
like
kind of
that.
in the midst of some hard times right now, because unfortunately they gave us some easy times, and now we're making some weak people.
Yeah, I actually like that. I remember when I first heard that saying. I actually, I want to say, probably when my son, I want to say was like maybe 11 or so. And when I first became a parent, I spoiled my kids like absolutely rotten, dude. Like, it was unbelievable. So, and then when I heard that saying, dude, it made me take a step back. And the main reason why I didn't spoil my kids that way was because I just hated the thought of disciplining them, and that's when I heard that saying, I was just like, you know what, dude? And then shortly after, I heard another saying about like, everybody you meet that's interesting has gone through some crazy shit in their life. Like their life has been absolutely wild, and it's like when somebody has a good life, they're kind of boring. And I was just like,
Uh-huh.
and after I heard that saying mixed with that, I was just like, dude, maybe I am taking it too easy on my kids. Maybe I'm making life too easy for them. So like I had to take a step back and find a fair balance. That's when my fair balance of like discipline and being a loving father came into play. And that's I how I incorporated that was like I basically was like your actions dictate whether I'm a cool dad or whether I'm an asshole of a dad. Like so, and then I kind of just ran with it from there. That was a total side note though, but I think it's actually awesome that you guys have had moments in your life for as examples of people like quitting under circumstances and willing to change their life around. I mean, granted, you guys went through your own circumstances to change your life around, but you had the examples and something to aspire to, something to look up to. That's a rare commodity these days.
100%.
100%. I agree. A lot of people didn't make it. A lot of people did not make it. So that's the other thing.
Well, yeah, that's for sure too. There's a lot of my friends or friends that aren't here or are locked up, right? But I don't know. I mean, again, like I was asked yesterday, how I deal with losing friends.
Really? Well,
Yeah, I don't think I've lost a friend in my life. I haven't lost a friend yet because I don't think any of the ones that I've lost were actually friends.
interesting.
Damn,
Yeah,
that
I don't agree with
that
it, but yeah,
dude, yeah, that
that's the
was.
dude. Oh, yeah. Dude, yeah. Well, yeah.
That's crazy because how I used to word that was, or how I still do word that is, when I was asked like, well, how do you deal with like when you lose people or you lose friendships? Well, I don't look at it that way. I look at it, there's nothing I love more than to find out I'm wasting my time, because then I don't have to waste my time anymore.
Mm,
Yep, yep.
got it, but
Same with like a loan. People are always like, "Oh, I hate when people ask me to borrow money." Nah, bro, please ask me to borrow money, please, because we're gonna see exactly where we stand. You
oh
know what
yeah,
I'm trying to say? Right now, we're about to see exactly where we stand. So if it costs me $100, keep it.
oh yeah,
Fuck it, because
Yeah,
now I lose no more time.
oh yeah.
or resources or anything. Yeah, like
Exactly.
so. That actually that's a nice start for the next question, and then the next starting point would be: do you struggle with maintaining the stage and mindset that you've achieved today?
I don't. To be honest with you, like once I made that shift in mindset, I feel like it became like all encompassing. It's like I feel like it's just the greatest feeling, the greatest thing, and I just want to always have it. So I don't feel like it's a struggle as much as I feel like it's a necessity.
Okay,
Mm,
okay,
yeah.
that's
I still struggle. I'm trying to get there, and maybe it's just not bright enough.
yeah, that's actually the point that I was going to bring up. That's crazy because I that's where I'm similar to you, and once I achieved the hurdle, it no longer was like wasn't like homework that I don't feel like doing. It was just there. It was just a substance that was
Yeah,
just.
exactly.
So that's where, and it's because I remember when me and Mac were talking during our first episode, and he told me that he did struggle with it still, and it's crazy. So that goes to show you guys that you get both aspects. You have both what is it, retrospects or perspectives of it. You have somebody who doesn't struggle with maintaining it, and you have somebody who does struggle with maintaining it. But look at both of these people, both of these fine gentlemen, they do the same thing. They still get up every morning, they do what they have to do, and they keep grinding for what it is that they want to achieve. Even if it's 2 hours a day, that's all they have to put into it. They make sure they put those 2 hours in. See, so you have both ends of the spectrum, struggling and not struggling, but they still get the job done. So, and there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
And just to clarify, my days are usually like fitting 36 hours into like 20. But yeah, I mean, there are days where I only have like 4 or 5 hours I can give before I'm done.
There are the days, right, where it's like, oh, I only have 2 hours of work today, great. And then it seems like it's always that. But then you're like, shit, I have this meeting, I have this and this and this. And then it ends up, I always make this joke. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, but I work 14 hours a day. Is that every day?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying to Zilly, right? Like I was saying that to Zilly, like as an entrepreneur, we give up working a 9 to 5 to work a 24/7, 365, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. People at 2 a.m.
Yeah, well, listen, sometimes I have clients that live in Australia, bro. Like, what am I supposed to do? And again, it's not like at least for you, they have to work around your schedule, Mac, because your show is at 9 a.m. You know, EST every day.
Oh, it's a bit
For
different.
me, if they're like, listen, I need this by this time, Australian time, and I need a meeting, and they're at the, I don't have a choice. This is money. I can't, but I think it's worth it. Again, I wouldn't change it for the world. I'd sooner eat ramen noodles every day for the next 6 years until I became a millionaire than do something else.
I'd rather not eat ever and make it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we know that, Mac. We know that.
Oh
like,
man.
Listen, I got a few pounds you could borrow if you need, man.
Oh, I got you, bro. I got you. Oh man, that's funny. I'm barely total side note. I'm barely trying to put on some extra pounds so I can start bulking back up and working out again, man. I have not been taking care of myself the way I should be. I'll admit that. So
yeah, I want to start going to the gym. I need to start taking care of myself now because my thing is, so I wanted to stop the methadone and then stop smoking cigarettes and then hit the gym.
Okay.
But I just never stopped smoking cigarettes. And I really need to,
man.
but it's just, and again, they were doing work on our balcony. So I couldn't go out to my balcony to smoke. So instead of quitting, because I wanted to quit, no, I started smoking in my house.
Oh, yeah. I do it right here, too. It's terrible.
Yeah. So,
Easy to go.
So now it's even harder. It's just like, forget about it. I'm just going to have a smoke.
Hey,
but
man.
the weather's getting better, and my fiance wants no part of the smoking in the house. So
your limitations are about to happen again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that, dude. I heard that. I've always. Oh man, there's just certain times, man, where how do you say, Mac? You got to bite the bullet, bro. And yeah.
Bite the bullet. Die on that hill. Bite the bullet. Oh yeah, and that's not the easy.
Nah.
Oh,
the cigarette's not the hill I'm gonna die on, man.
I have a goal that I want to do. I'm hoping I can stick to it. I'm 28. June is my 29th birthday this year. I want to just drop beer and cigarettes at 30. Exactly. Both.
Okay.
Really crazy.
So I'm just gonna say this, okay? Just drop it right now, bro. If you really don't like it, if you don't like it, just drop it, bro. Just drop
my
it.
opinion, my stubbornness tells me, oh man, life is gonna be so damn boring. I might as well enjoy it now, and I know it's not true. I know that's
Oh,
my
hey,
playing.
this is the perfect angle, bro. This is the perfect angle to start the open banter. We like skipped
Yeah,
past the open banter like 40 minutes ago. So let's open it now. Let's open it with that subject at hand. Okay, so um I feel like this is what helps me keep any form of substance abuse in check that I've ever had before, or like even now, like when I do go back and I smoke a cigarette or drink or have maybe smoke a little bit of weed with my friends here and there, is I used to believe that too, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to genuinely believe that I needed some form of a substance to have a good time, or to just get me closer to the oblivion, the ignorance, the bliss of just not worrying about the world around me.
I'm at the point now where it enhances my performance unless I take too much.
Oh
Right?
my God, no, no,
See,
No, it
no,
doesn't. No, it
no, no,
doesn't.
it does.
No, it doesn't.
this is
Listen,
real discussion.
no, listen.
Because
I'm like 3 seconds away from leaving this podcast right now.
Oh,
You're
you better not,
lying,
bro. You better
bold
not.
faced lying,
You better not.
bold. Like, listen, Mac. I can name. I'm not even gonna do this live on a podcast. Just stop lying, okay? Just stop lying, please.
it's not even a
Stop
lie.
lying.
I now like alcohol. Let's just
Yo,
say
well, listen. You're right. It wasn't a lie. Unless you go too far, it just happens sometimes. Is all. You didn't lie. You're just sometimes go too far.
yeah,
And that
and it's for me, it's a conscious decision. I make the choice to go too far or not. It's not like I just randomly say,
that's
This
messed
works.
up.
"No, I
That's
know
messed up. That's messed up.
Oh,
that
okay,
we're."
see, so
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So
Oh,
that is a danger. That's a dangerous zone to play in, Mac. I
know.
promise you.
Mhm.
I'll tell you. Like I couldn't even have one drink until I was completely off the methadone.
Really,
Yeah.
I have
Like
like
not even one.
I use alcohol, like I was saying, just alcohol in particular, to calm my damn nerves. I'm too nervous and like bad. It's bad. It's bad. I get real
so you still
nervous.
get the
You should get
anxiety
like
and stuff like that.
why don't you get like a clonazepam or like a CBD spray? Why don't you get a CBD spray to put under your tongue?
No, CBD is not for me. And also,
Nah,
well, I am prescribed.
you're just not. You just don't want it to work.
What? No,
Oh,
no.
see, hold on. Hold on. That's where I would like to say it's. Oh man, the conscious choice. Okay, like how you said, it's a conscious choice. That actually was the point that I was going to get to, because that's where I finally made the conscious choice to reach the level that I get to on a substance, but sober. And once you, and that's the hard part. That's where I have to tell everyone that is the part that takes the most work, is the highest hurdle to jump over, and you're probably gonna hit your leg on it, fall and hit your face on the ground, scrape it up a bit, and you're gonna be all bloody. But are you still gonna get up and keep moving?
But it's so much better, right? Because like so, for example, like a good example of what he's saying, like when I'm just chilling at home, bro, I'm like this, just chilling. Like I'm a pretty laid back guy, you know. But even for this, I'm already up. Like
Yeah.
this is how I would have been taking perks. This was my personality, except I was a dickhead. So,
Bang.
but like for example, when we're in a space, when I first come in, that guy is like drinking at the club, Bueller, like, hey, what's everybody doing? Da-da-da. You know what I mean? You just have to find that without the substance. Like the substance is just bringing something out of you. You know what I mean?
I mean to say, not an exactly performance enhancer. No, my liver's dying. My lungs are getting It's like, yeah, fine.
Oh man.
I'll tell you this:
But
the
it's getting
smoking
to
though.
that like social level of I am amazing and I can do this and this, and then without some of those things, like,
Nah,
Man.
and it's not always right. It's just I'm just bringing this up.
but you're not. And the thing is, like, to be honest with you, what I feel like is that that the problem with the methadone is the drinking, because it's a potentiator of opiates. So you're drinking different levels, different days. So your body and your receptors. Pardon?
I always drink the same amount every day.
Nah, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Wait,
I'm sorry, I don't
hold on.
believe you.
Hold on. That's where he was talking about something about receptors. I needed to hear the rest of that. Hold on. He was getting on the scientific level here, and I need to hear this part.
Adverse
Yeah.
reactions.
So the exactly. So alcohol is a potentiator of opiates, right? And so your receptors are overloaded and blocked.
Yeah.
Methadone's blocking your receptors, and then you're overloading them with extra opioids that they can't take. You're supposed to be at, say, let's just for an example say 30 milligrams. Okay, you're supposed to be at 30. Then you drink 3 beers.
37.
That might,
4.
that might bring you to 39, 40 on your receptor levels. And then tomorrow, when you have 3 beers, maybe you didn't sleep as much, or maybe you slept more. Now, instead of 37, it's 45, or it's 32. That big of a difference, Mac, is huge. You need to be having the same amount every day for at least 3 days to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So then adding this, there's too many differences when you're already playing with your sleep and your eating and all this stuff. There's way too many differences that adding alcohol, like, bro, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
That's how people overdose, number one. And number two, I'm on that journey, which I do want to say, I look up to you as someone who's gotten off of methadone, because that is incredible. Honestly.
Appreciate it.
Like,
Appreciate it.
going off or bowing down, it's actually one of the toughest thing a human an addict can do, because you replace a heroin or opiate addiction just to take another opiate just so you can go to work and get through the whole day. You're like, okay, well, I don't have to go to the streets for it, and I'm not risking potential death and overdose every time. But you're replacing the same thing, the same receptors.
But that's also, again, another privilege that I had was my fiance took care of everything.
Yeah.
Like everything while I was going through this, right? Like it didn't matter what it was. Everything.
Yeah.
You know, bills, rent, everything while I went through that, right? So it's just like not everybody has that privilege. So this is why a lot of people end up staying on methadone either longer than they need to or forever, or don't even get to the clinic because it's easier for them to call their buddy and buy a bottle of pills and just every week just make sure they keep going to their same guy and keep going to work. It's easier.
What made me like want to quit as well, if that person did not answer the phone, because here's the thing, not everything lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. So your connect doesn't last forever. The prescriptions don't last forever.
Oh, you have to have 7 guys, bro.
My heart, I swear, being open, my heart would drop if I knew I couldn't get my shit for the next week or some shit. And that is not a feeling that you want to have. Like, living in fear, I already had when I was young, right?
I would like to take this opportunity to point out the fact that anybody who watches this, anybody who is watching this, do you see so Mac just explained earlier the anxiety he gets still from we'll just say that his dark past and things of the nature that he's climbing out of still currently. Okay, you saw this is me being a third person perspective, excuse me, I had to interject to give people the breakdown of it. So looking at the psychological aspect, this man got uncomfortable. He started moving in his chair, you know, he yes.
Getting nervous already.
Yeah. See, so he got uncomfortable, but that's the hurdle that we're trying to portray to you guys, man. Because at no point did he let that uncomfortable feeling make him get up from the camera, walk away, or him turn off his end of the conversation. He stood here, and he because he respects the man in his similar situation so much, he still sat here. He took it, and he gave really good feedback back and how he respects him for just laying it on him like that. I mean, it's not the easiest pill to swallow, and it's not it's the life isn't a walk in the park, and unfortunately life isn't fair. But do you see the righteousness of this man right here, that he literally ate it. It doesn't matter, and he knows he needs to further himself in certain areas of his life, and he's willing to accept it whether he doesn't like what he's hearing or not. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the key to making your life and everyone else's life better.
Well, I wish that even half the people that I deal with could take what I say the way Mac takes it. Because to be honest with you, I always come from a place of love, and I usually don't like to speak on things if I don't know. We can talk about it, but I'm not going to tell you matter of factly anything unless I know. So
That's why
I wish,
because
and I appreciate it.
you've been through it, right? And this is the
Yeah.
thing with addicts. Like, you can go to rehab and have a counselor, and if they've never been an addict, you don't respect them. They've never been through it. Sure, they might have read the textbooks and their science, and that's cool. But have you actually
Well,
really been, like, that's a thing. Not for everyone, but for me, for
yeah.
sure.
Well, like for example, it's weird to me how at my methadone clinic, I was the first person to ever
Mm,
kick methadone, like properly go through the program and get off. I was the first person to ever do it. My doctor's like 80 something years old.
mm, yep.
Been doing it forever. Like probably started the program in that area, you know?
Every time I lower
Um,
it, they're like, and then each day though, yeah, no, they're shocked, legitimately shocked, and then they're actually nice enough. Like after 3, 4 days pass, hey, how you feeling? And I'm like, oh wow, you remembered. I didn't say that out loud, but I do in my head. It's because they've really never really see it, so they're like, whoa, you lowered, and it's interesting. It's sad, but it's interesting.
so very early on, I gained trust with my doctor. And
Mm,
so like I was getting like my full week to take home.
mm,
And then I was getting 2 weeks to take home. And so, but every single time that I went down.
mm,
Every single time. I never went there without going down at that point.
That's
mm,
Like it was insane.
yeah.
that's where I would like to ask, since both of you have the experience, Mac, you're currently going through it, and Bueller, you've gone through it. Would you recommend that program to other people who are like who have struggled with opiates and things of that nature? Would you recommend the program that you guys are currently going through?
It's case by case, and you got to be really strong and really want it.
Yeah.
Um, it
It can't be forced.
and to be honest with you, there's a lot of times when I was going through it where I felt like I should have just quit. I should have just quit, got sick, went through it, went and got some IV treatment or something, and then just been done.
In my
Because
case, I did, and then I
because
realized.
the methadone, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy ride.
What was that you said, Mac?
I did go through getting clean fully. I went to detox 6 days. It was the worst thing. I almost left on my fourth day. Called my dealer, answered immediately. I could have met him in 20 minutes. Called my grandpa, my family. They would have picked me up in 20 minutes. Talked to the guy who ran the detox in Queens. I was gonna leave in probably like 2 hours, not 20 minutes, but they would. I was good to go. And the counselor was like, "Are you sure? You're like tomorrow's day 4.5. You're gonna feel better tomorrow." I'm like, whatever. So I'm sitting in the hallway, pouring sweat, freaking the fuck out. People are walking past me like, oh shit, like what, like that. And then after an hour, I kind of felt a little better, and then I went through it, and then I did the 6 days, went home, felt weird. I mean, everything felt different. Everything. My room, everything felt off. And then I was clean for 6, 7 months. I picked up one time and was back to a bundle and a half in 24 hours.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, no,
I can't even say anything because I've done that, but with methamphetamines, like,
I
Well,
mean,
I'll
you
tell
know,
you,
similarity, right? It happens that fast.
yeah.
yeah. So I'll tell you right now, Mac. The biggest thing that somebody said to me that kind of changed everything is you have to give it its space and don't treat it. Never treat it like you are bigger than it. Like
Mm.
you don't you if you get hurt, you can't even take a fucking Tylenol 3.
That
You know what
is
I'm saying?
something I worry about a lot, actually, right? Like cancer.
Don't, because you're not going to be able to take it. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That doesn't matter, bro.
It's not
There's
something.
no sense in worrying about it because you can't change it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, if it happens, you're not getting it. That's it.
for sure.
You're going to have to take Advil until your liver bursts.
You know,
Like,
also why people stay on methadone too, right? I heard it from a lot
oh
of
yeah, but listen, methadone is okay for pain management. If you're going to be on opiates for the rest of your life, it's something that you can take once a day and manage your pain. I'm for it.
Yeah, not bad.
The whole thing is my problem is most people don't need that extent of painkiller.
No. And the reason it is looked at it in the way it is because when anyone does their research, OxyContin. The people who made OxyContin lied and said that there were no withdrawal effects, made millions of dollars and got a bunch of people addicted. The pill mills and
Ugh.
pill mill.
That's crazy because that's actually the next subject I was going to ask in the open discussion was like, so like, how do you guys feel about like the practices that these companies have done that have basically like in a sense like I hate to be that guy but have basically destroyed people's lives with the promise of, oh, I'm just trying to help you, and then like similar situations like that you guys have gone through, like people
Uh,
like a lot of people
my
end up
my,
in,
op-
go ahead.
Real
my
quick,
opinion is going to be very unpopular.
see, and it's on a case by case basis as well, is what I'll say. But I know for a fact a psychiatrist killed a friend of mine or an acquaintance of mine for sure. He had no anxiety, no pain, no whatever. He gave him somas, 60 of them a day. What's a soma? Exactly. They're old. They're barbiturates. You can barely get them. Benzos replace them. He got 122 milligram Capens, 122 milligrams Xanax, 122 milligram Valiums, and he fucking died like 2 months later because the doctor prescribed it. That's an over prescription, right?
Yeah.
And not every doctor's like that. My psychiatrist now, oh man, I can't even joke around. What? He'll chop my finger off. What are you talking about, Lendy? No, I ain't giving you an upper dose. You're
He
crazy.
said, show your loyalty to the mafia, chop your finger off.
Yeah, for an eye.
Oh man.
So I'm 100% for a free market, and I just feel like I got suckered. I got. Like I don't know, bro. The way I grew up maybe is not the way everybody grew up. You know what I mean? But I did a lot of dirt, and I'm nobody to judge anybody on how they get their money. And if you can get millions of people to buy your shit, I don't think I can talk shit. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what I would do if I was in that position.
It's a moral thing at the end of the day. And when
Yeah,
a
but this is my
open
thing: is
market,
I'm nobody to judge your morals, bro. You
yeah,
understand? I'm nobody to judge
Yeah,
your morals.
I got that.
I understand my morals, and I wouldn't stand beside you. Currently, the person I am, I wouldn't be able to stand beside somebody that's doing that kind of shit, right?
yeah.
But I'm nobody to judge you. Do your thing, whatever. That's how you made your money. That's how you made your money. I can't hate on you. I made lots of money in lots of bad ways, bro. You know, like
You know, I think as far as like prescribing medicines and things like that, I'm not really against that part. The part that I'm actually mainly against is like the way they go about treating psychological disorders. Like if you take like a psychological disorder and you do like blood tests on this person and you test them for, like from A to B, and there's nothing chemically wrong, their blood, everything, brain, everything checks out. So obviously it's a mental issue. So why are you pumping them full of fucking this, that, and the other thing? If of obviously it's a psychological issue, maybe they just need a hug, dude. Like, you ever thought about that? Like,
it's
like
a fact, though. It's a fact.
It's because what you said, right? It's the brain isn't fully known, so their solution
Well,
is
the problem with
not
medicine.
not cure it, fix it temporarily.
Well, the problem is this, right? What do they call it? Practicing medicine.
Yeah,
So
yes,
it's,
yes.
oh, try this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, try this. Oh, that didn't work either. Here, try this. It's a practice. They don't know. They don't know shit. Because every single person is different.
Mhm.
And again, so
True.
how do you measure like the proper brain chemistry? You know what I mean? And then when you do those measurements, uh, I mean, again, like you're saying, if everything checks out, everything's on the level. Why are you changing the chemicals in their brain? Why are you changing any of that stuff? Like, it doesn't make sense. But I think a big part of our issue with these mental illnesses is that we're tribal people by nature. I think that we know too much about too many people, and we can't handle taking on everybody's shit. So we like we have to compartmentalize our own shit, and it ends up giving us these anxieties and these like phobias and weird things where like you can't speak in front of people, or you can't do certain things. I think a lot of those things, and like even a lot of the quote unquote autism and stuff like that, I think it comes from the overstimulation by like society.
I can definitely agree with that. I mean, That is a very interesting hypothesis, dude. Because I mean, that can definitely be a contributing factor. Because I mean, we were used to living in like cities of maybe a couple of thousand people, maybe if you were lucky, almost 100,000 people. But like this, being able to basically see the emotions and almost every single person in the world, like you can see their daily life. It's like, and then you guys ever had that weird feeling when like at some point in your life where you just feel like you just wish you could meet everyone, like you just wish you could
Yeah.
just meet everyone at one point or another. And I think that's where that comes from, that tribal nature. And it's just it's like I could see that, dude, that it just being input overload and it just like frying your
And
mind.
that's why I try not to pay attention.
Yeah. I know me, the one time I felt actually stressed, right? I work on social media. I can have up to 100 people or more in a room, right? But I know before I turned off my notifications on Twitter, I was starting to like keep hearing it, and I started to get like uncomfortable
Oh,
and
that could be a thing because
kept
listen,
ringing.
I have my phone on silent, but I have a special focus mode, right? So like my fiance, my mom, um, that's it. Actually, my fiance and my mom can get a hold of me at any time.
Mm,
Otherwise, my phone's on do not disturb. I don't get like message. I don't get any kind of message notifications, any kind of shit like that, because my Discord's always going off and my Twitter's always going off, and it's just too much. It's insane.
I had to turn all my notifications off. No, I get notifications anymore. So that's why
Like
sometimes
I'm in the max limit of servers on Discord.
it's all. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know why I feel like asking you this question, Beeler, but if you could have any one superpower, what would it be?
I go back and forth on this, man. It would either be I could go invisible or I could fly.
Invisible what? To fuck with people?
Nope. I can't tell you.
So all I can tell you is you're going to see a bunch of
listen, I'm
drugs
not
and
saying I
money
wouldn't
floating
do that.
around.
Yeah.
No. See, the power, I have to have also like an invisible bag. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. That's not fair though, man. You have the power, not the bag.
I know.
Things you
That's
touch
hack.
go invisible too.
That would be cool.
Maybe
Like
that's
Skittles?
cool.
You
Yeah,
touch
or like a thing, like a force field. Anything inside my zone, you know?
That would be pretty dope. What about you, Mac? What about you?
You've asked me this before and I don't remember what I answered, so I'm kinda like did that change in a couple weeks? I don't remember. I don't even know. I
Yeah, man, you change with the wind. It's okay, Mac. What is it today?
You're the
uh
Wayfinder in Ghost of Tsushima, bro.
no the wind, literally where you have to go. There's no map, it's just following the wind on your horse, which is actually a feature that
Yeah,
was really
that was
there's
an
no UI.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I get the shout out, my man.
Way more
Are
immersive.
are we going into a Twitch stream after this or what?
I was saying, you want to do some? It's 7 almost. I mean, what, to like play games and hang out and do some stuff
Yeah.
live? I mean, I said before, I'm probably
I'm
down.
I'm game
Down.
for whatever, man. I'm game for whatever. Today's kind of like a do whatever day. It's my first day off in quite a little bit of time, so I'm loving it. Um,
Oh, good then you know what? Then yes, because I want to hang out with Ray since he has a day off. He's been working hard, and that's actually legitimately true. I want to hang out with you, dude. So yes,
so, but total side note, mine would be the power to control the fabric of time.
I like that one.
time travels.
Doctor Strange.
Time
Yeah.
travels.
So
Uh,
that would be fun, dude. I think that would be fun. Okay, call me crazy, but the main reason would be because I would like to pause time, take a whole bunch of people inside this big plaza, strip them all naked, and then push play.
yeah, I have thoughts like
That's
that.
it. Listen, I've thought of many things that I would do as like pranks,
Hmm.
but the main reason to ever go invisible is always to rob a bank. Always to rob a bank.
Predict the future. I would
Oh,
want to predict the future. I'd want to know the future.
Not so.
It's too
so-
much, but yes, I would.
Okay, so if you
Bitcoin's
could time travel, would you go to the past or would you go to the future?
It's a really cool.
When would you go and
Mhm.
why? And you can come back and listen. If you, I will give you all the caveats.
I have an
You
answer.
can come back and go as you please.
Oh, okay.
Like you have the power. It's not just a one-time thing. You have the power to time travel at any time. except you can only go to the same time period. So when you go back there, it's like you continue on that timeline. And when you come back here, you're continuing on this timeline.
Like dreaming.
Which way would you go?
Mm.
What time and why?
I would go into the future.
Okay.
I don't know what time, but probably within 1,000 years or maybe even 100. I would go in the future because I wouldn't want to go back in the past because that no gun, no cholera, I mean, a bunch of diseases, no cures. I'd be dead in a week. But in the future,
dude.
No, you're vaccinated for all that stuff already in the
Well,
past.
hold on.
bro.
Let him finish. Let him finish. I want to hear this.
no, for real. Yeah, no, I would go to the future to. So I think about it like this, right? There's only certain things we're going to see, and what we're alive through right now, I think is like a pretty awesome time to be alive, just with what's going on in the world. Technological advancement, we're right up the cusp of space travel, like all these really cool things. I'd want to see that, and I'd rather not go back in the past and die in a week from the plague. That's my answer.
Okay,
So your second timeline would be in the future,
Yes.
mine, bro.
like 1,000 years.
Oh yeah, he said
From here to
1,000. Yeah.
1,000 years. From here to 1,000. Tops 1,000.
Okay.
Probably.
What if you like? Okay, that's where I have to like be a dick and make it, and then be
Go in
like,
the future, there's nobody there.
That's what I was gonna say, bro. Everything's all barren and shit.
Yeah. Well,
Yo, Mac,
what?
you can bring one person with you. You start over, bro. You start the world. You and one person.
Hey,
Oh, that's a tough one. I know who, but can't say it.
that's where I would have to say I would go back, bro. I don't know, just something about
Really?
being in the time of swords and shields, bro. And it's just, I mean, everything was more
I know.
transparent, dude. Everything was like face value. Like there was schemes in politics like there are today, but it was only during the higher echelon. Like you could just be a nomad, bro. Get your sword, get your shield, and just go. Like there was
Be
nothing.
a fucking Viking, bro. You could just be a Viking. You understand? Like that's the point.
I'm the alien. I
Yeah.
want to go.
So but listen, I disagree with the past. I think the past is laid. I wouldn't go. However, I do understand the appeal.
Yeah. There's.
But I would just go in the future 1 week, and I would just continue to go back and forth, and I would just get all the lottery numbers,
Yeah, I was
all
just saying,
stuff like.
just follow the Bitcoin.
Bro,
price.
that's it. Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? Like
Anything
follow
100,
chart.
anything
Yeah. Bro, listen, because what you were saying is true, Mac. I like where we're at. I like my life.
Yeah, I
But
do.
you know what would make my life way better?
If I saw
Millions of dollars. Like millions of dollars, bro, would make my life so much better.
Oh
No,
my
like-
god,
yeah.
that's
Like,
freaking
imagine
hilarious.
knowing the Bitcoin price in 5 years, 10 years, and then being
Bro,
able
you
to,
could
and
be
just
the
go
like,
back.
bro. I would just go and I would just like find all the information and just make a crazy team of all the content creators. I would steal code. I would do all
I
the
was gonna
crazy
say,
stuff.
if you went to the future and you found a cure or something, and then were able to bring it back, you'd be God.
That's what I'm saying.
You would be God. You would know
You know what I'm
the
saying? And I'm
answer.
always a
You
week
would be able to
ahead.
clear
I'm
the
always a week
flu.
ahead.
Imagine you found the iPhone or Android, and you go back to the 50s.
And
You're
again, so this is why I say a week and not a day, right? Because if it was like a day, things like finding the cure, you might not have enough time, right?
No, you don't have any.
But in a week, I can fit if I have the information. That's it. I can bring it to the scientist. That's it. In a week, they got it.
I don't think in a week's not enough because most things,
Yeah, it's enough. It's
government
enough.
companies and
Because what you do is you bring it to the public. You bring the theory to the public. That's it. That's all you need, right?
So okay,
Be the first one to
Hold on.
public.
This banter brought like now this brought I can't even speak Spanglish right now. Jesus Christ! That banter brought another question to my mind, guys. So if you had the choice, and it's a very descriptive choice. You have either or. There's no like what if this, what if that. It's either or.
No caveats. Just this
Yes.
and this.
Okay.
Okay.
If
Oh,
you had
I'm
the
ready.
choice to be the hero that saves the day and unites everyone, or you have the choice to be the villain that unites everyone but perishes in the end, which role do you pick?
I'm the villain every time. I'm the villain every time.
I'd rather perish. I'll die on the hill that I set, and that's why I always say.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Oh man.
because
And
you know what?
honestly,
Because the villain who dies to unite everybody, the real ones know that that's the hero. You know what I mean?
I
And
like
those
it.
are the stories that I want to live on in. I don't want to live on in Joe who always lies. I don't care about his stories, but the
Mhm.
real ones would know that guy wasn't the villain. He did that shit to unite us.
Martyrs. Martyrs are
Yeah,
interesting,
yeah.
and they're looked bad upon, but they died for what they truly believe in, and it's looked at every different way, but they know deep down that the reason was right. So yeah.
Well, if it was to unite everybody, 100%.
Yep.
I'm good with being the bad guy.
Mhm.
I'm good with that.
Right now, no, I'm not okay with being a bad guy.
Oh, I'm
In
okay
the
with it at
question,
all times, man.
in the
Listen,
Oh
question,
man.
if you say I'm the bad guy, I'm cool with that. Whatever, it is
honestly,
what it is.
if
Because I
no,
know who I am, right?
nobody
So if
likes
I'm the
you,
bad guy in your story, that's okay.
honestly, if everybody
Treat
likes
me
you,
how
you're
you
not
want.
stirring up the pot enough, and you're a B word.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you don't feel that way, Mac. That I get that straight from your hero, bro. That's a I am whatever you say I am. I'm
What,
cool with that, bro.
if I
I'm cool
wasn't,
with that, bro.
yeah, no, 100%.
That's it. I'm cool. I really don't care. I really don't care. If that's what you think
If
of
you
me,
put
that's
everything I
fine because you
say,
don't know me. You know what I
if
mean? So
you put
that's fine. I'll be
everything I
that to you.
say and think Eminem, you're like, oh wow, like, you know what I
But
mean?
no, that's my boy. This is the whole thing, Mac. When I was young, I dyed my hair blonde. Like I grew up in that era, you know. Like I had blonde
I
hair.
thought
I used
about
to wear a
dyeing my hair
fucking
blonde.
the
Just
yeah,
saying it.
bro. The golf. I used to have the fucking the golf hat
Yo.
upside down and backwards with the champion all white champion suit, buddy. Like I was a stan for real. Like,
3 unit
but
sneakers.
yeah,
This is
like again, yeah, bro. I used to go to New York to get the G Unit sneakers because I couldn't even get them in Canada.
Yes, Air Force One Unit special editions were always
No,
mostly.
they were Reeboks.
Were they
Reeboks.
bro.
Reeboks? Oh, I think you're
Yeah.
right.
I feel
They were
like
actually.
I feel like I'm watching a big brother and little brother have a philosophical conversation here, like and I'm just sitting here in the background taking notes, like oh. Oh man. So let's go to the little ending point here because this is I feel like you're gonna have something good to say for this. So now that we've definitely covered major bridges with you, man. We know about what you do for a living, your grind, your relationship. You have your kid issue, which is your beautiful puppy boy over there, and we've got to hear about your beliefs, which I have to say is pretty unique. I've never met anyone or I've had an in-depth
Well,
conversation.
actually, funny enough, Stonks, Lauren, our game dev, our HR dev, is also Odinist.
I knew it.
Wow,
No, no, that
Her and her husband.
wow,
she's mentioned
Yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah,
that's cool. So, but that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
It's very unique. I've never met somebody who still believes in the pantheon, and that's where as far as if I were to go to some form of like a faith in that regard, I would definitely have to say the pantheon way is the way to go because just something about Greek mythology, dude. I wouldn't say Norse for me; it'd be Greek, but there's just something about it that speaks more volumes to me than like.
There's a difference. Greek and Norse are
Yeah,
different for what?
Yeah, bro.
Asking seriously.
There's
Okay.
Greek, Roman, Norse,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
There's
Babylonian,
yeah, the Arcadian. There's quite a bit of them.
Sumerian, like all kinds of different
Oh,
pantheons, to be honest. And it just like again, I believe that those are all different interpretations of the same
Yeah,
beings or whatever you want to call them.
yep.
So to me, it's like yeah, take your pick because we kind of believe all in the same shit.
exactly. It's just the literature and the culture that it's filtered through.
Oh, I have this question, and I
Oh, go
held
ahead.
back. Before we get to the last one,
Yeah,
which
you go
is
ahead. Go ahead.
um, religion, right? I held this back for a long time. Is it a crutch just for people to survive through life? Do they use it just?
For some people, for sure. To be honest with you, I've never leaned on religion,
Mhm, neither.
and
It's a tough one.
I don't know. For most things, there's a scientific explanation. You know what I mean? It's more little nuanced things that
I mean, like, do
to
they?
me resonate the most. But I don't. I believe that yes, in the traditional sense, uh, religion probably is used as a crutch, or has been used for a crutch for time for time
It's like
immemorial.
they don't have a reason of existence, or their lives aren't that great, so they
Yeah,
find
yeah,
to tap onto,
and
it, which is
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Okay. Now, I just wanted to ask that because I felt I've been holding it back in my head and it's eating me alive. I'm like, let me just say
No, you're good,
it.
man. Because that's where I do have to say that I definitely agree with Bueller. Like, for I would I hate to use this terminology, but I just want to keep it simplistic. But I would say for like the general population that did like. I guess I feel like that's so disrespectful of a term because nobody's just an average person, but you know, but for people who don't have a reason, like I said, to live their own life through themselves, they basically live it vicariously through something or someone, and you know, religion is just so happens to be one of those filters. So that's where I do agree with Bueller in that aspect.
Cool. Yeah. I just wanted to bring it up. That's it.
Well, I, uh, our security dev at DLA Dow, he said something to me once, and it really stuck with me. Is that you liken like the church to the hospital, right? So like you expect to see sick people at the hospital the way you expect to see hurt people at the church. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
So it's and again, like, so for me, I was saying like I don't like to go because a lot of times like it either doesn't resonate with me or whatever, uh and I also find it like uncomfortable, how I was saying to you guys before the podcast. There's a lot of things that I find uncomfortable about a lot of religions, and
Yeah.
he's saying, well, like, you haven't been to my church, you know. And so I think that, again, like, I'm sure that there's good uh, at every church, or in every religion, the way that there's probably negative in every religion. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. 100%, it's been used as a crutch forever.
Cool. Just my question. That's it. We can go to the. You want to go to the last one, my man Ray?
Well, no, I don't mind actually keeping this conversation up at all because this is like a touchy subject that I wasn't sure if I was even like wanting to discuss on this channel at any like real major point. But I mean, we are talking about it, so I don't mind it going on a little longer. What you call it? Because that's where uh, I don't know because I feel like now like because this is a dangerous area only because like for just for content constraints, and that's where I will say that in the ultimate sense I don't care about the content constraints. It's just more that I don't want this content to be like banned in certain parts of the country or certain parts of the world. But I guess, like I said, we're already talking about it, so there's no point in caring. So let me stop beating around the bush here and just say that um, I think there is a sliver of truth in everything. I think no matter what the situation, what the circumstance may be, there is a grain of truth to be, or a silver lining to be gained from everything. Whether, no matter how horrible the situation may be, the silver lining is you learn how to deal with that horrible situation if you were to ever come across a similar circumstance. So I also feel that way about religion. I don't think that any religion, any particular religion that currently stands in today's age has it 100% right. I do think there are grains of truth in them. There are slivers of truth you can gain from them to help you broaden your mind and open your mind up to the diversity of the world and the beauty of it. But I believe any religion that currently stands today has it 100% correct. I do not believe that whatsoever.
Well,
It's what
to be honest with you, I
translation.
don't know if there is
Yes.
a wrong or right. You know what I'm trying to say? To be honest, this could be a futile fight. That, like, it's none of it. Probably is no wrong or right, because like it might not even matter. This is the whole point about the simulation theory of what I'm saying, right? Is like, if at the end of the day, if quote unquote God is just a computer coder, then there's no wrong or right. There's no God. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That um,
What I say is translation, right? Because the Bible's written how many times? Every
well,
religion,
that too,
so many
like,
times.
there's a lot of
Even the pagan,
religions
right? Since
that through time translate the same stories. You're right, but
yeah, which I mean, then probably no one has it right if it's been translated a billion times through 20,000 different books over thousands of years. It's kind of hard to distinguish the strike of lightning or, a plane falling from the sky when we're monkeys from what is actually just a plane falling from the sky because we're monkeys, right? So that's what we said it before. That's where my brain went immediately. I'm like, translation. Yes, yes, yes.
And that's
Well,
why
I
I
mean,
think. Oh, go ahead.
I don't want to get too far left on it,
I'm
but
done
like
here.
this is why this is how I kind of feel about aliens, right? Is I feel like uh, it's probably us.
Hmm.
Like we probably left. We probably, you know what I'm trying to say? Like not that was probably like the smartest of us. The people that were in like Egypt and stuff like that, that could have been um, like what was left. You know what I'm trying to say? Like to us, they're super genius. They did all, but that could have been what was left because they were leaving, and those people that were in those like spaceships or whatever the hell that they're depicting, um, probably us
If
coming back.
history repeats and cycles exist, computers and all of this happened already.
Oh
And
yeah.
Oh, 100%.
it's completely blown
and
up.
and I
There's no
and
record.
like even in Egypt there's proof of like nuclear warfare in one of the pyramids. There's like the steps are melted, and the only way to melt the steps like that would be like with a
Crazy.
nuclear bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually heard about
um
a theory, not a theory like that, at a place like that. I can't remember the exact name, but it wasn't the pyramids. It's gonna eat me alive. I'll look it up in a little bit and give you
Right.
guys.
Pyramids
But
were made by sound.
oh, I mean I mean,
Sound.
as far as how they were made, dude,
By sound.
there are so many things that.
Imagine
well, I mean, I think
100,000 people all making one tone. Everybody. Like, imagine we all just stepped outside. Every single human being stepped outside and made the right frequency of hertz from our voices. You don't think shit would start moving? People can break
but
glass.
okay,
I know we're getting deep now, and I do
nah,
Oh
listen,
man,
nah, you're
don't get me
cool, bro.
started,
But
man.
I think I watched a video, and a guy showed how it could be poured concrete, and I believe that makes way more sense. Like they could have built forms and just poured that shit
the only thing that the people, what
one brick
that
at a
people ask
time.
is like, how did they lift it? How is there the mechanism
What
to
do you mean they didn't lift it, bro? They poured the shit.
That's what
they
he's saying. That
It
they
was
had
liquid.
castings and then they poured the concrete in there and then
Yeah.
kind of like how we make
let it
bridges.
solidify.
We build
Huh?
it. It's kind of how we make bridges and
Yeah, bro. Even houses and shit, bro.
we build it on the land and then drop it in. We
Yeah,
don't
we
build,
built forms.
you know. But yeah, no,
Uh,
this topic because it's really cool to hear everybody's theories of like that stuff. It's awesome.
I mean, listen,
This is
I don't know my theory on it. To be honest, I'm not standing by any theory. I'm just saying that was one that I seen that was kind of cool. Was them pouring it like concrete. It made a lot of sense. Like the way the guy explained it, you could even do it in that time frame. You know, because you would picture it almost like doing it now. You could pour that in concrete if you just used hand tools.
Yeah. Have you seen?
So why couldn't they?
The reason I say sound, right, is have you seen the YouTube videos, and there's more than one, where you turn on a faucet and the water comes in that normal circular stream, and then you put a frequency of hertz through it, and every different frequency.
You want to know why I don't believe that one?
Why? Because you haven't
And
seen it.
this is gonna be the craziest take of all.
Okay, here we
Because
go.
you know the comedian Eddie Griffin
No.
or whatever,
I don't.
the black guy. I seen him explaining it on stage at a comedy show,
Really?
and that's it for me.
Mm.
That's it for me.
He said, "I'm not
To
gonna
me,
say that, dude. That doesn't even
nah,
tell
that's it.
me."
I don't even want to look it up, bro. I swear, maybe I'm being an asshole, but I just feel like this guy is not reputable enough that I can care.
Oh,
You know-
wait.
I don't know.
Okay, so the reason why I think his theory is plausible is because there's certain experiments being done right now. So like it's a very simple, it's a super simple simplistic, excuse me, science experiment you can do. You basically, like the forks, the tuning forks that you tap. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get one tuning fork, okay, and then you get like a ball or something. You hang it from a piece of string and you put it against the tuning fork. If you get another tuning fork, okay, and it's a different hertz or a different frequency, and you tap it, next, he doesn't have to be touching, just next to the other one, nothing happens. But if you take the same exact fork and you tap it, it sends a vibration through that one that's against the ball, and then that vibration that's against the ball starts moving the ball back and forth like a pendulum.
String theory
So-
as
Well,
well.
you ever see like sand on a speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
How different sounds make different shapes and stuff like that.
That too. Yeah.
So definitely we know that like sound effects matter, you know,
Mhm.
but I don't know the way he was explaining it. It was like that the sound pushed it up into a pyramid and pushed it down, and that the pyramid was actually a diamond.
Oh, I've heard something like that too. Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Also, I mean, we haven't dug it. We haven't blown it up. We haven't.
Man, that's where I called me old fashioned, bro. But I think that's why Merlin is such a legendary figure, because that mofo just had some kind of technology where he just clicked on his little wand and it made it hover.
That's why we're
Hey,
God.
bro,
Try phone.
listen, I wouldn't doubt it, because I always say that like I feel like we probably like magic, and the idea of magic had to come from somewhere, and I feel like people at some point probably had it.
Like levitation
And
and stuff. Yeah.
saying we don't have it, and saying oh no it's not true. Same thing like an imagination, right?
Oh yeah, but see
As you grow up, you know.
that's where this is how I like to describe it. Technology that's so advanced as if it were magic.
That's what I mean. Yep. Imagine, like I said before, with the iPhone, Android. We go back to the
Well,
20s.
they have like look at magnets.
We're gods if we can go on the phone and look up everything. Oh yeah, magnets. I gotta
Bro,
go to
yeah,
the
but
restroom.
magnets, for
Magnets. I'll be right
No,
back.
for real. Look, you never seen magnets making things levitate?
Oh yeah.
I have. Yeah.
On trains, don't they?
Huh?
Like it could, like I don't know. I'll
Yeah.
be back.
Well, but yeah, I mean, they do it with trains, but they use the magnetic force as a propulsion system, not to levitate it. But this is the same idea. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but that's actually pretty dope, dude. So, freaking, you deep dived into quite a bit of ideas before you ended up ultimately getting to the one you're at now. I can tell
Yeah.
just by picking your mind, man. And what's cool, you know what's I have to say that I admire about you as an individual, man, is that just your bravado, your personification, or your vibe, speaks to me that like you're a very confident individual, which means that you've taken that rowdy part of you that's willing to like put in work, as you say on the streets and stuff, but you've refined it into like you choose to have this good heart, but like let's just be blunt about it, but you'll still slap the hell out of someone like it ain't nothing. So like,
Yeah, facts.
I
I appreciate you though.
but yeah, so that's I have to say, bro, that's an admirable trait. There's not I rarely come across other individuals who've like mastered that trait upon themselves. Like it was actually cool because I was just researching this new channel that I just stumbled upon. It's been out for a while, but I just recently stumbled upon it, where it's like it's a Buddhist master is teaching basically the world. He has a channel and he teaches stuff about their beliefs and stuff. And one of the beliefs that I just recently researched was probably like coming on like a month now, but he was like it's I guess it's a regular, it's like Buddhist 101 is the way he described it. And he's like mastering your demon hand but choosing to have a heavenly heart. So you need to master your demon hand to protect and prepare your heavenly heart.
Yes. So this is what I live by, right? Is I guess. Well, I think you should ask the question, because
What?
I think you should ask the last question, because I think it's a good answer to that last question.
Okay,
To be
so
honest.
then the last question would be like, so now we've seen your belief system, we know your life situation, and we've gotten a really good example of how your mind works and the tinkerings of your mind. So what advice would you give people going forward that have gone through similar situations or just need some form of inspiration to keep them going forward?
So first of all, believe in yourself. Always believe in yourself, because you can do it even though you think it's hard. And second of all, become dangerous, stay dangerous, but and then be humble. You don't have to use that dangerous side of you, but you always have to become dangerous. You have to be able to be dangerous at the drop of a dime to protect everything you have.
I want to ask one final question, and I think I'm going to ask this on every podcast. Honestly, I asked it to Ray here. What uh, made you stay alive?
My fiance, I
Okay.
probably would have died, 100%. So that 100% was the thing that the reason I'm still alive right now.
She
By
gave you
the way,
your reason.
yeah, yeah. I want to say thank you, Bueller, Fresh Bueller. Thank you for being open today and being willing to be naked in front of a bunch of people and do that. Because personally, I appreciate it. You know,
Shit, I thought I was wearing. I did it again.
I knew a joke was coming. Appreciate. You know, this is the goal of what me and Ray are trying to do here is show people that being open is like okay, and that everyone can make it no matter what, and it's hard. I struggle. We all struggle, right? People
Yeah,
get
yeah. It's a lot of hard work, but if you put it into perspective, it's a lot harder to do the other thing, like as far as being an addict or even sitting at home and doing nothing and not trying to make something happen. It's harder than just doing it.
I
So,
love it.
with that being said, guys, all links are in the description below. Max's links are in the description below. Bueller's links are in the description below. He even wanted to shout out a project that he's working for, so their link is also in the description below. By all means, guys, go ahead and hit up their socials, shoot them a follow if you guys want to keep up to date on their lives, see what's going on. Maybe just want to show some support, maybe meet another friend. I mean, by all means, we're all open books, guys. Don't hesitate to hit us up and show us some love. We'll do the same. And with that, guys, it's been a fucking awesome episode. Bueller, you're an awesome individual, dude. You rock this 100%. I can tell you, I when you first told me you were a little nervous, I see where the nervousness came in, but you still didn't hold back, man. You're a real individual for that. I appreciate you. I freaking love you guys. Don't forget, you're all legends in your
Appreciate you
own
guys for
right.
having me.
And we out, guys.
Like and subscribe.